I would like to invite any children who are here tonight to come up. Reverend Tony has a story and a message for you, so if you'd like to come sit down.
Any adults who still have a big kid inside.
Yes, anyone is welcome to come on up. So please come up and join us for a little story. Don't be shy.
I totally haven't killed everything childish about myself.
No, definitely not.
Bring the kids up.
I'm wearing a different shade of red than all of you. How am I supposed to fit in?
Well, you know we're all celebrating Christmas, right? All right. It's the birthday of who? Jesus. Okay, how long ago was he born? Many years. Yes, technically it is. But the easy way to remember it is just to go whatever year we're in, it's about that. So we're in 2017, so it's 2017. 28, yeah. About to be 2019. And actually, technically, Jesus was probably born 4 BC, 4 years before Christ. No, they think it does vary, but and Christ was not his last name. He wasn't the son of Mr. and Mrs. Christ. No. Christ was the title he got. It's the Greek word for Messiah. So when people decided they thought he was the anointed one of God or the Messiah, they called him Christ. So that's why he's known as Jesus Christ. Pardon?
Messiah.
Yeah, Messiah. Messiah is Hebrew Mashiach, and it means anointed. And in Greek, that's Christos. So it became Christ in English.
Does he have a Latin title too?
Pardon?
Does he have a Latin title too?
Christus.
Oh.
Yeah, it's just the Latin title is borrowed from the Greek. I went to seminary. I know these things. Anyway, who was at the birth? Have you ever heard of people in the story? Who was there? Mary. Okay, Mary was. Some animals were probably there. Shepherds.
No, they got there on Epiphany. Shepherds got there like an hour late, I think.
Yeah, shepherds. And actually, even the wise, do you know how many wise men there were? That's the tradition, but actually the Gospels don't say. So sometimes they thought it was 7 of them, but eventually they decided on 3 because it just says Magi came. You know what word we get in English from Magi?
Mage?
No. Well, I don't know about mage, but magic.
Dude. They're related.
They're related, all right. Yeah, Magi were Persian priests, and they were astrologers, so they would watch the stars. And even Zoroastrians today, who are followers of that Persian religion, do that. Okay, well, we're going to listen to the story and hear how it goes. And this is from 2 of the Gospels, and it covers most of the details. So let's just listen as we hear the story again.
In those days, a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be enrolled. And so Joseph went up from Galilee to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house of David, to be enrolled with Mary, his betrothed, who was with child. And while they were there, the time came for her to be delivered, and she gave birth to her firstborn son, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no place for him in the inn.
And in that region there were shepherds out in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And an angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them. Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good news of great joy, which will come to all the people. For to you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be a sign for you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes and lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, Glory God to the highest, and on earth peace among people of good will.
And behold, Magi from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east, and we have come to worship him. And lo, the star which they had seen in the east went before them till it came to rest over the place where the child was.
So that's the story, and our carols sing about that. And I thought I would tell you one little story from my own background. I grew up, and we had a manger scene at home, a creche. You know, it looks like a little stable, and it has a statue of Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus and all that. Have you any of you seen those or have one at home? Okay, all right. And so what we would do in our family was, for the three magi, we would have them a distance away, like the creche scene was on the piano, and the magi were on the television set, and they would gradually get closer and closer to the manger as we got close to Epiphany. But the other thing that was very cool, I think, is my sister Alice, my older sister, who later became a nun. She had the idea that for the little crib, the little manger for Jesus was in the story. It was filled with straw. It was the trough that the cattle ate out of. But you might think, well, that's gross to be sitting in someone's dish. But it actually was nice and warm and soft for the baby. And my sister Alice had the idea. She put a little thing of straws on the side. I brought some here. She brought some straws, and she said, anytime you do a good deed, she put the little baby in there without any straw at all. She said, anytime you do a good deed, something that Jesus would have wanted you to do, you can put in a piece of straw in the manger to help keep him warm. And so this was kind of a cool idea. Yes?
Wouldn't putting straw in the manger be a good deed?
Yes.
Or leading to more straw in the manger?
Well, yeah,
You only need to do one good deed.
you could argue that.
Do one good deed.
You could argue that.
How morally good was your family? Like, how long did it take for that to happen?
Well, actually, I'm going to tell you, there's a little secret here. My brother Andy, most of us were doing it, and I would do a good deed, like it might be I'd compliment someone, or I might bring someone's mail to their house, if it was a distance away, or bring their newspaper, or I'd say something kind to my sister, or even to my mean brother Andy. And but Andy didn't take it all that seriously. And I saw him one day taking a piece of straw out of the little box of them and putting it in for the baby Jesus. And I thought, I wonder what good deed Andy did, who I didn't think ever did any good deeds. But I thought, here he did a good deed. And I said, Andy, what good deed did you do? And he said, my good deed was I didn't stomp through the living room, but I was offended. I thought, he's not taking this seriously. So I decided secretly to do, anytime I saw him put one in, I would do another good deed so there'd be no straw in there that didn't represent a good deed. I would have made a good Pharisee, incidentally. Well, that's another topic, so ask me afterwards. I can tell you about Roman law, too, a little bit. Yeah. So I brought this straw, and if you would like to, you're welcome to take a piece if you think you would like to do a good deed. I mean, because, some people just say, or they praise Jesus, or they sing songs about him, and they think that's enough. But it's really more important than any of that is whether we try to love our neighbor as ourselves. And Jesus also said to even love your enemies and do good to those who hurt you, to be kind. When you see someone by the side of their own, pick them up and help them and bring them to safety. So he really taught all those things, and it seems to me that's kind of the better way to celebrate his birth. So if you would like to, I'm going to let you just take a piece of straw out. And if you think you want to do more than one, take 3 or 4 or 5, whatever, and take them home. And don't be like my brother Andy and do something silly like, oh, I'm just not going to be mean. Want some? No? Okay.
The byproduct of cereal grains.
Yes. All righty.
Some hard to use sustain to society. Not this part, though.
And the nice thing about this is when you're done, you don't have to throw it away. You can put it out in the lawn or the area around you. And if you ever run out of them, just come here. There's a bunch of this right around the church building. And I'll leave this up here in case any adults would like to take some home after the service. So that's up to you. All right. So that's our story, and we're going to sing another Christmas carol, and this is the first Noel, as you can go back to you, please.